What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Eric, Mr. Cincinnati Robinson, and as always, I am joined by the podcast dad himself, Chris Hoops. Hoops, how are you, buddy?
I'm okay, man. We have not spoken since the Thursday news drop.
Yep.
I think we're going to get into it today, and it's a little bit more of a serious subject than you and I
Yes.
are usually here to talk about. But
That's correct.
we have to address it, and we're gonna get right into
Yep.
it. I'll let you plug socials and everything, but it's going to be a little bit more serious tone today.
Yeah. Let's get right on into it again. If you're new to the channel, welcome to Wrestling Junkies podcast. If you're a returning listener or watcher, welcome back. As always, hit that QR code, like, share, subscribe. If you know one person that would enjoy this podcast or what we're about, certainly share it with them. We encourage you to have them check out our interviews. Encourage you to check out Stump the Smart. We've got some great new episodes coming soon. There is a new concept change that we will be revealing, and there's a hint. Yeah, I think that about covers it. We do have a interview dropping this week with the Moonlight Sun, Mike Skyros. Thank you again for joining us this past Saturday for an awesome conversation. So be on the lookout for that and some clips throughout the week on our social media channels. But let's get right on into it. Are we going to start with the heavy and then lighten it up with the Rumble? How you want to do it?
I think that's what we should probably do. Yes.
It's a good idea. At this point, it's no secret the allegations against Vince McMahon brought to light in a lawsuit filed in Connecticut this week. 67-page complaint. I put my legal hat on for a little while and made my way through all 67 pages. I think that you did as well, yes. At least according to our conversations that we had earlier today. The allegations are very damning, very graphic. I'm certainly not going to present or repeat a whole lot of what was in it. If you want to find it, certainly encourage people to look at it. That's certainly your option. Good evening, Kyle, part of the Main Event Network. Also, make sure to follow them at @mainevent_net on all social media channels. Back to the allegations here. WWE is being sued. Vince McMahon's being sued. John Laurinaitis is being sued by an individual who was a former employee of the company, I believe, for about 2 years. And I believe that this is the same individual that was referenced a couple of years ago when all of these news stories and the investigation came to light, if I am not mistaken.
Last year.
Was that really last
year? It feels like a couple years ago.
No, it was 2022.
Yeah, that was last year, bud.
This is 2024.
It's only the first month of 2024, though.
I know, but the original kind of story that we heard about this was in 2022. That's when Vince originally resigned. Yes.
Was it originally resigning in 2022?
Or they called it a retirement, even though it was a resignation in most people's minds, like that. Yeah. So
because when did he make his power play to get back in?
That was at the beginning of last year.
So that was
the beginning of 2023, going into Mania because it was in LA, the Endeavor deal, yada yada yada.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, that's probably where I'm getting the mix up, is because I remember him getting back in, which probably won't happen. I won't say it won't because I don't know. It shouldn't happen, but I'll let you keep going. Sorry.
No, you're fine. According to Meltzer, he's gone. It's my understanding that while yes, he still has ownership, but his voting power is not nearly what it was pre-Endeavor merger. So I don't necessarily foresee it happening here. And I sent you an article earlier today I think it was Wrestling Inc. where I read this, but there are people that are willing to bet that Ari Emanuel will not tolerate this. And what I didn't know was that Ari's daughter also worked at WWE HQ and had for several years. I did not know that till today. So this is kind of one of those the more you know type of situations. But it does sound like this is not something he's going to take lightly. I didn't know that there was a deal that he backed out of with Saudi Arabia in 2018 over their human rights record. So it sounds like that will be more of the same here. This kind of dovetails into us talking about the Rumble. I think this is a part that we can bring up to this portion right now. Triple H did have to do the media scrum afterwards. There was, no indications or any sign that it might be canceled. They certainly didn't address it beforehand. But there are people that are, unhappy with Triple H's response to the questions. I think we all knew that something was going to be asked because that's the nature of the beast, quite frankly. That was just going to happen. Yes. And Triple H basically, deflected and, said we're going to look at the positives as far as the financials and the success of the event and things of that nature, and keeping it about the product rather than the business. I'm going to kick this over to you just because I need to sip a tea.
Yeah.
What were your initial thoughts in hearing Triple H's answer to this question at the press conference?
So I'm a little surprised he didn't read a statement like before everything got started. He kind of just kicked it off talking about the Rumble. Like I think it would have been better if he would have kind of read TKO's statement at the very beginning and maybe kicked off the press conference like that. That obviously didn't happen. Like I'm okay with how he answered. The only thing I didn't love was him saying that he didn't read the lawsuit, which may
Yeah,
be fact or fiction. I don't know. Like I don't know if he did or not, but I'm taking him at his face value saying he didn't, which to be in the company and the position and the power that you're in, you probably should have read that, right? And I understand it's weird and it's like it's in the family, so that it's got to
yeah,
be it's a shitty situation,
yeah.
you know. But
It's
it's
going to hit differently as a member of that family. It just is.
yeah.
And you know, my thought on it is this, because I mean WWE, we know that they do media training out the wazoo. You know, they have teams in place for situations like this, and you know that he certainly could have handled this question better.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine it's probably very likely that he's legally not allowed to comment on this because of what's going on.
Right
The
there.
company is a defendant to this litigation, so would not surprise me. I think that he should have made that clear. I think that his
Mm-hmm.
answer sounded tone deaf and dismissive. But you know, if he again emphasized, you know, there are, you know, because that's usually what happens in situations like these, when, you know, especially in a large corporate structure. You know,
And I give him credit for
yeah,
going up there. Like I give
yeah,
him credit for going up and going with the press conference. Like he could have easily just said no press conference, you know, can't talk about it, you know, not going to talk about it this matter. He at least addressed it a little bit. Again, like you said, legally he might not have been able to say much.
yeah,
You're the lawyer, I'm not, so I'll let you kind of deal in that legal field a little bit more. But the other thing too is like we have to remember he's not the boss, right? So if Ari Emanuel is saying,
yeah,
"Hey, here's what I want you to go out there and say. I want you to go out there and focus on the positives," like he has to listen to his boss,
yes,
and that's for Ari Emanuel to address the larger situation. Maybe it's not for Triple H to address. Again, I understand the criticism of what he's getting because yes, it
sure,
is in his family. Did he know about it? If he did know about it, then Triple H should be, you know, booted. I
yeah,
agree with that.
yeah,
All indications are telling me he did not know about it so far. I don't we
yeah,
haven't gotten everything, so I can't say he did or he didn't. What I will say is I guarantee they will get everybody that was involved in this out. I
yeah,
guarantee that because they cannot have anybody that was involved still be within that company and still
agreed,
do the things they want to do. They've
yeah,
already
hands
had
down,
a potential major sponsorship pull out according to Fightful. They didn't name who it was, but they already had a potential major sponsorship pull out. Slim Jim backed out. They came back, but you're going to negatively affect your business if you have people that knew about the situation, people that participated in the situation still in the company.
yeah,
And from what you and I have gathered about Ari Emanuel, he's a smart businessman and he's not going to do that. Like you said, his daughter works there.
yeah,
So, and the human side of that too is I can't have anybody that knew or participated in this company, in this building. The problem is now it is the culture that he's going to have to
yeah,
fix. It's not
yeah,
everybody in it, but this happened. And you cannot shy away from it. You cannot plead no comment. It happened. Now you have to fix it. And
yeah,
to be honest, it's gonna take a lot, right? It's gonna
yeah,
take a lot to fix
absolutely,
this because, like you and I were talking earlier, this is the first splinter or crack in the dam. Like this is a little leak.
yeah,
He had how many NDAs did he have? And one was like $7 million. So
yeah, yeah,
more is
several,
coming, and it is going to get a lot worse before it gets
yeah,
better. and they're gonna have to navigate through this, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be bumpy as hell.
Yeah, and from kind of the legal standpoint, I mean, basically, what's going to come next once an answer to the complaint has been filed, that's the next step in the civil procedure process. But then we're also going to see the conducting of discovery. So,
Mm-hmm.
there have been some text messages that were included in the complaint. I'm sure that is that you have used this phrase several times over the last 4 or 5 days. Tip of the iceberg.
Right.
This is just the beginning, because all we have now is what's alleged in the complaint. Now we get into the fact finding process to see what there is. So I would imagine that there will likely be some depositions that are taken, additional, again, physical evidence, tangible,
Mm-hmm.
any number of things that can be introduced, pursuant to the rules of discovery and civil procedure and evidence. Um,
So I have a
that this
question,
is, yeah.
and this is more of a legal thing, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
just don't know because I'm not in the legal field. So this is a civil lawsuit, correct?
Yes, this is a civil suit. Sorry, I was reading a
You're
comment we
fine.
got from the A to the K Wrestling Show. Awesome as always. Thank you guys so much. Check them out. Give them a follow as well. We will certainly be talking about the CM Punk injury.
Yes.
We do
Stay
want to
tuned.
kind of just get through kind of the tougher parts of this, just because
Mm-hmm.
we really didn't do a full, kind of discussion about this. So we'll stick with us just a little bit longer. We don't necessarily want to belabor the point, but there's a lot that we want to talk about here. But thank you guys for tuning
Yeah.
in. But
So like this is
yeah,
a
yeah. What
civil
was the
suit.
question again? Yes.
Can you now file a criminal suit?
I don't know enough about what Connecticut law has in terms
Okay.
of, as far as legislation that's happened over the last few years when it comes to Me Too, speaking out movements, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's something that could be pursued
Okay.
right now. So this is at least, the option that is available to this woman at this time. Um,
Because you'd have to think it
so
turns
yeah,
into something criminal where there's going to be a trial, and I mean, if everything is found, you know, to be true, he's got to go away, right? Like that's got to turn into some criminal charges. I mean, what he did is
yeah. I
very
mean
highly
it.
illegal.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't necessarily know that this was confirmed or the scope or the extent of it, but we did hear rumors that the Department of Justice served a subpoena on him,
Mm-hmm.
one and did a search of his premises. I want to say last summer.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know where anything went with that. That's not to say. I mean, so that could be another avenue potentially. There's just not enough out there, at least at this point in time right now, because again, this is just the beginning of the process. This complaint is just getting the ball rolling on this.
Okay.
So I am sure that more will come out, and I'm sure that WWE's PR team is going to have to be working overtime for the
Oh
foreseeable
yeah.
future. This is bad. But I do want to get your thoughts on something.
Mm-hmm.
This was an interesting question that I got, and Kyle, yes, I do. I promise I actually have a job, um, but. I had a friend ask me this, because we have certainly had people that have, there's tribalism in the IWC, and we
Mm-hmm.
see a lot of that. Is this an opportunity for AEW to set their standard of what kind of conduct should be taking place in a locker room? Because we had a similar issue with the media scrum with Tony at the end of World's End, and there was criticism for how he responded to that question
Mm-hmm.
too. As far as what's going on over there, as well as wearing the hat and the glasses and kind of just yeah
Yeah.
how he was dressed when responding to it. Do you see AEW using this as an opportunity to you know create some positives in their locker room as well?
It should, and what it should do is change everything for every locker room everywhere. In all honesty, I
Yeah,
mean, if you don't feel safe enough to go to somebody and say this is happening, no matter how big the company is, like that's a toxic culture. And
yeah,
hopefully, seeing this, I don't want this to turn into an AEW versus WWE thing,
no,
but I want this like this shouldn't be happening in the world,
yeah,
but this shouldn't be happening in wrestling, man. Like
yeah. This is a
it's
chance to
awful.
improve the culture all around. Yeah,
It is. It happened a couple years ago with the speak out, with the speak out or speak up or
mm-hmm.
whatever it was. Like
Yeah,
that changed a lot of things. This should change a lot of things. Like if you're in this situation, like just speak up,
yeah,
and that goes for any walk of life, whatever it may be, whatever job it may be. Like for those who haven't read anything and are still defending the WWE, like, go read it.
Yeah.
I guarantee you will not defend it. Go
Yeah.
read what is alleged. Go read the text messages, if not anything else. Like,
Yeah.
it's disgusting. It's sick. I hate the fact that this happened, and this
Yeah.
is something that I enjoy. This is something that you enjoy, and now we have to talk about this shit because
Yeah.
it's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
But the way I look at it, yes, both companies now have an opportunity to reset the standard, and they should do
Yeah.
that together.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be Tony Khan going out there saying, "Well, this is what that company did in that
Yeah.
culture," or WWE doing it with the shitty comment that Triple H made about the Forbidden Door. Like,
Yeah.
stop, reset. You can have this
Yeah.
rivalry, and that's fine. Reset everybody's thinking, reset cultures, reset the standard of what should happen
Yeah.
in the wrestling business. Yes, I agree. The old guard,
Yes.
and that seems to be what it is. Everything that happened with Jericho was alleged. Nothing has come out with that. There's been no civil suit, no nothing. He's on
Yeah.
Dynamite.
Yeah.
Does that change? I don't know. But
Yeah.
like the same thing with Vince. This is all allegedly.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's not true, but
No, that's just
legal
that's
terms,
where it
it's
is right now.
allegedly
Is
that
that
happened.
yes, there's a lawsuit that has been filed against WWE, Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis. Those are the alleged facts in that document. That's how they would be referenced in this case.
Yeah.
Next part will be the fact finding phase of this case, and again, how much of that will be made public, I'm not sure. There are certain pre-trial motions that people can file in order to limit how much of that is released. Those are just the rules that are available to plaintiffs and defendants in the American civil legal system. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts on this before we?
Like you said, I think this needs to be taken more seriously now for both companies. Like, if this comes up, take it more seriously. If you don't know the Ashley Massaro story, go look it up. I'm not going to get to it in depth here, but go look it up. Like, if this is happening with a female talent in an AEW locker room that felt this way, you need to change what happened. So,
and Kyle, to answer your question, it was just alluded to in the complaints.
I don't think Brock's name was said.
No, Brock's name was not said. It's just there are heavy inferences that are being made based on the context of what is in that legal document. So that's all it is. It's just At least at this point right now.
Last thing I'll say, and we can move on, because this is not going away, right? We're going to be talking about this for the next probably 2 years, 3 years, because of how the legal system works. If you are still defending Vince McMahon, what is it that you like to say? Go touch grass. Like, go read the report, go educate yourself. If you're coming after Triple H, again, go educate yourself. You need to see everything in it. Like, did he go out there and give the best answers? He didn't.
No.
Could he have done that? I don't know. Legally, I don't know. And you have to remember, he is not the boss of the company. So if the boss went out and said, you're not allowed to go out and mention anything, go out and talk about the positives, he's doing what his boss tells him to do. And I'm sorry if you don't like it. I didn't like it. I wish it would have been addressed a little bit better. But coming at him and saying he needs to do better and he needs to, it was, yes, the answers were not great. But it was the same thing with Tony Khan. And again, we have to remember that there's legal stuff going on. So I'm not defending either man. I'm not attacking either man. But I'm saying go and educate yourself on the facts before you come at people with, do better, be better, that kind of shit. So I don't want to talk about it right now. I want to move on to the Rumble. We will come back to this subject, I promise, because it is important.
It is.
And, this is probably going to be the biggest scandal in wrestling we have ever seen. And I will continue to give my opinion. You will continue to give your opinion. If you want to hear more about it, let us know as these things come up. But let's get back to the fun side of wrestling for now, and we'll get back to the more serious stuff here as the facts come out.
Absolutely. 37th annual Royal Rumble is in the books officially. 4-match card. I think that surprised the hell out of both of us. But overall, let's just get match by match, man. There is a lot to unpack, but we'll start with the Women's Royal Rumble. Bayley was victorious, finally
Mm-hmm.
getting that WrestleMania dream match, finally getting her first singles match on the main roster at a WrestleMania. So hats off to Bayley.
Oh yeah, and the women's Rumble match was, I think going into it we were like, man, this hasn't been built very well. It delivered. It was a great
Yeah.
match. Naomi coming back at number 2 was fantastic. It's awesome to see
Yes.
her back. Jordan Grace coming out and having a hell of a showing. Like, that was an awesome, awesome spot.
Yeah.
Jade, Naya, like, just the aura of Jade. She's already a star.
Yeah.
Tiffany having a great showing. Roxanne having a great showing. So you can kind of see the future there.
Liv Morgan returned.
Liv Morgan came back, so there's more depth in the women's division. Yeah, like I thought the women's Rumble was very, very good. I thought it was booked well, and I, Bailey is the right choice. We'll
Yes.
see what title she goes after. I'm thinking it's probably
Well,
going to be EO, but
yes. How they get there, I think, is
yes,
what'll
that'll be the fun part.
what'll be the interesting. Yeah. Yeah. I think that this was the best women's Rumble ever. I think that in a short history, this was the best one.
Okay.
Honorable mention to 2019 because that was the height of the man popularity. But I think that as far as from debuts to surprises to the depth of the roster that we saw, and again, Chris Hale also agreeing with us, highlight of the show.
No legends.
It absolutely was, yeah. And this it was actually nice that this was a year that they did not need the legends.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they have a presence and there's a time and a place for them, but they had been around that for the first 3 to 4 years of the Rumble, and the fact that that was not the case this time, I thought was really cool.
Yeah, and you have intertwined feuds in there. We're still gonna get the thing with Becky and Nia eventually. Jade and Bianca
That
squaring
face-off
off,
was
but
just
never touched.
Nope.
Like, I think who mentioned it the other day? I can't remember about Nia and Jade being the program at Mania, but other than that, like, I think that'd be a great feud for Jade to begin with, to kind of show her dominance, because I will say it, I was wrong. They have built Nia to be kind of a roadblock in that division, and they've done it well. So having Jade beat Nia would feel like a bigger deal.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we'll take the. Let's just talk about Jade's debut for a little bit, because after she left AEW, and you and I actually had the distinct pleasure of being at Jade Cargill's last AEW match. That was the last match to close out that Dynamite Rampage taping, so we did get to enjoy it, and this was a very different performer Saturday night than what we saw back in October. She worked very, very hard to get ready. We both saw a lot of chatter online and questioning whether she was ready for this, and then some comments that Triple H made as far as wanting to have her ready and make sure she's ready for an opportunity like that. She showed up. She showed out. She absolutely delivered. There really was no reason to be worried, I don't think, but she did everything that needed to be done. And Chris, yes, I know, I'm sorry, I did not mean to spoil that debut, buddy. That was my fault. Yeah.
Yes. No, it was.
But yeah,
I thoroughly enjoyed the Rumble for the women's side. I think it really, really did show up the depth of the women's division, and they have so many things they can do. And Jordan Grace will be in the WWE sooner rather than later, because she's good. And I think WWE was like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I bet they got one of those vibes of like, oh, we know this, like, this will be a cool, fun thing. And I'm sure that Naomi had plenty of glowing things to say about trying to get her involved. But then because I think it was What Culture, Cultaholic said that she went 19 minutes, and it felt like a lot longer than that.
And got eliminated by Belair.
Like it. Yeah. So it's like, okay, like you have to think, oh, okay, they definitely are like, well, we gotta bring her in, and I think that they should. I mean, she is incredibly talented. They put over TNA, as well as they could, with them being also another, another promotion in the marketplace. And Kyle would also agree. Great reaction. Yep. More so than a lot of their own names. Yeah.
Which is why I think the worry about if Okada came in, he wouldn't get a reaction. I think he would get a reaction.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, And let's kind of talk about this part of it too, is because there were names, and you and I watched this show together, and there were names that you could not think of right away, just when you heard the theme music.
Oh,
And
God.
that's a potential, that could be a potential negative to the minimalist set design, is because these aren't iconic theme songs like we were so spoiled with when we were younger, that if you don't have a name to go with it, you're probably not going to think of who it was right away.
Dude, the theme
Like
songs
I
suck.
didn't. Yeah, it's just
They're not great, and that does, yes, it is.
yeah,
That does like really hurt the Rumble for me. Is that all the theme songs are not good anymore? Like, I remember back in the day, man. Like you would hear a theme song, you would get hyped. You knew exactly who it was. There were
yep,
about 15 theme songs. I'm like, who is this? And I had no idea. And
yeah.
that I hate. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. WWE, spend the money to get good theme songs again. You have the money to do it, even though you might be in a huge legal battle. But you have the money to do it.
Yeah.
Go do it. Like,
Go,
fix
like,
the
Jim
theme
Johnston,
songs,
please come back. Please come back.
please.
Jim Johnston Jr., if he has one, that works too. Just,
Just
we need a little bit of
is it
that
Def
magic touch.
Rebel? That's who's doing it now.
Yes.
He's not good. Not good. Like even CFO was
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, I'm still not okay with that new Rebel Heart.
They weren't even in the Rumble.
No, but they got a big opportunity tonight. I think that's why they saved them. I'm fine with that. If they win the titles
You're a
tonight, I'm
Mark
fine with them
Kyle.
not. Yeah.
You
We're
tell
all
me you
marks.
knew. You're telling me you knew Indy Hartwell song, which was one of my picks, by the way. Thanks for that,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. Let's talk about the woman of the hour, Bailey, getting the win. I mean, at this point, I think, and I'm just kind of running through her resume real quick. I think she's the ultimate Grand Slam. I think every championship, Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank. I mean, really, all that is missing is this WrestleMania main event. I mean, we've already known that she was goated. I mean, we've given her flowers on this show before. What she did in 2023, what she did during the pandemic, nothing short of remarkable. Fans are ready to embrace her again, and I'm so happy for her.
Oh yeah! Shout out to my wife's favorite female wrestler, Bailey, for getting the win. She was so excited when I told her she won. You think we get the inflatables for Mania? You think we get a return of that, just for one
Um,
time, just for a special entrance? Come on,
okay, all right. I will say one time. One
one
time.
time,
I don't.
just
Yeah,
one.
I don't necessarily see or want to see her return
No,
to that type of character or that gimmick. I mean, Izzy Moreno is going to be doing that on the Indies, and I can't wait to see how far she goes with that, because she's got a lot of that. A lot of that same
bubbly
energy.
personality. Yeah,
Yes, exactly. But yeah, no, because a lot like Drew at Clash at the Castle, where they had Broken Dreams play for
yeah,
a little bit. Okay, I could see kind of a very small nod to
yeah. Just
nod to
maybe,
it.
maybe
Yeah.
just one inflatable guy. That's all I need. I just want to see him
Okay.
one more time.
Orange Cassidy style, just kind of
There you
just
go.
going up there, and yeah,
There you go. Yes. No, Bailey deserved it. Congratulations, Bailey. It's
yeah.
it's awesome. I'm not ready to
Yeah,
hug you yet.
absolutely. Well, I said the crowd was ready to embrace Bailey again, so you see
I'm
what he
not
did
ready to
there.
hug.
You're the podcast dad. You should have gotten the dad joke.
Mm-mm.
That's a
Let's
dad
talk.
joke right there.
Let's talk about this four way, man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I enjoyed it,
I did. I did.
except
I
for
think.
Slim Jim. That threw me
Yeah,
off, man.
yes,
It threw me off.
and you are on record saying the mat is sacred. You don't care about everything else.
Mm-mm.
So, what was it about this particular branding opportunity with Slim Jim this time that rubbed you the wrong way?
So I liked, and we'll talk about it with the cricket. Like I liked when it was like still black and had the logo. Like that was cool. But this one was yellow and just and then red.
Very
And it
Hollywood
was like
Terry esque.
there was not even that. It was just like so like in your face where it wasn't subtle at all, and it was just very very bright. And I didn't like for a world title match. I didn't love it. Like if they would have done that, if
Yeah.
they would have switched and done the cricket for that, and then done the Slim Jim for the U.S. title match, probably would have been okay. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't have minded. But like it was just it was a lot. It was a lot.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I enjoyed the match. I think that, and I mean, we can talk about the placement of this match on the card. I mean, this went on before Logan Paul,
I'm
Kevin
okay with
Owens,
that.
which it surprised me, I will say. And you did bring up an interesting point because I did get excited thinking that we might actually see a title change. But if this is going on second,
No
then
way.
there's no way that it doesn't end the show. So yeah, I mean, it's fine. It sets up him for Mania. He's there. Is what it is, I guess.
I
I
enjoyed
don't
the
know.
match. I thought it was
Yeah.
a well paced 4-way. I'm a little concerned about Orton and his shoulder.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was
That scared
favoring
me
it.
a little bit. We'll talk about some injury news here in a little bit.
Yeah.
But that one concerned me a little bit. I thought LA Knight looked really good. I thought AJ looked great as always.
Yes.
Yes, we saw the solo rinse repeat finish again, but overall,
However,
I really
I
liked the
would like
match.
to I would like to give some credit to the production team because they didn't spoil it with a camera shot. It was just basically you hear one, two, nothing, and then they cut at the right time. That's not
Yeah,
something that Kevin Dunn
that one
would. Yeah,
almost got me.
that was yeah. So that I my hats off to them for that. Um, there were a lot of cool new production aspects
Mm-hmm.
that they brought into the show as far as the countdown. How long each person had been in the Rumble, and kind of keeping track of that. A lot of things presentation wise, I think that are going to be
Yep.
really really cool to see them incorporate. Um, is there any? I mean, AJ Styles taking the pin. I think that we both thought that
Saw
would
that.
be the case, regardless of who would win the match. Just kind of given that Orton, they don't really want to beat. And yes, you're absolutely right. He's in a hoodie, but we also don't know like if he's hiding in the crowd or what. Like I don't know. I mean, because when we look at the Logan Paul interference, that dude was wearing a plain white tee, and it was
Jeff?
easy to see him. Yeah, yeah.
That's Jeff.
Yeah, I actually forgot his name, so thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
guess. Yeah. So, what do you see as next for Styles, Knight, Orton? No particular order. Just what are your thoughts for them over the next couple months?
I think LA Knight will go into a program with Logan Paul. I think that makes the most
If we're
sense.
lucky.
I think giving him the U.S. title after the year he's had would feel just. AJ, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with AJ. Hopefully he gets a good spot. Randy, I could see him going with Solo. You
Yeah.
know, give Solo that spot, give Solo that rub. But yeah, like AJ is the only one I don't really know what they're going to do with him, and I don't have a
Yeah.
feud that I can think of like a top baby face that like maybe he switches shows. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I also would not mind seeing Randy and AJ Styles because we're starting to see this slow descent into frustration, damn near madness, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
that initial turn in his TNA run. So I'm intrigued because I'm hoping that it brings the OC with him. Because I think that this is something that could reinvigorate Gallows and Anderson for the tag team division, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in the title match tonight. But this will
Yep.
also be really, really good for Mia Yim too. If we can really see a true heel Mia Yim, I would like to see what she can do to make herself stand out and what is a very clearly loaded women's roster. So I think that
Yeah.
this could be good, and I think if AJ continues to rack up the losses here to finally snap, much like we were seeing with Drew McIntyre, this could be good.
Did you almost call him Ray J?
I did almost call him Rage. I was really hoping that you didn't notice that, dude.
Of course I noticed it. What are you talking about? Ray J Styles. Here we go. All right. Logan Paul, Kevin Owens.
Ryan Tran has to be the most eagle-eyed referee WWE has ever seen. For
I
somebody that complains
loved it.
about
Oh
referees,
my god, I loved it.
that was the most unique finish I've seen in a very long time, and it was simplistic in its execution.
I love the finish.
Well done.
The match was okay.
Yeah,
Wasn't anything like super special. It was a well worked match. We didn't see anything like super spectacular from Logan Paul. I think that we're used to, but he's
yeah,
in there with the guy and Kevin Owens. It's just a solid worker and got a pretty good match out of him. But yeah, like the
yeah.
finish was That finish was what do they say? Cinema.
Yeah,
That was fantastic, man. Like
it really
I
was.
and we both hate like non finishes on pay per views, but that one
This
was
one was fun
just that was
because
awesome.
all three of us had kind of been thinking that was it. That's the gas. Are they really going to do this? And then it just in the blink of right.
Yeah,
Nope,
and the
gotta ring the
camera
bell.
angle was
Yeah,
great too.
yeah. They
Like
executed it well.
yes,
Look at
and
them.
I think this may lead to a match between the two in Perth, which I'm okay with. Like let's run it back, see what happens,
Yeah,
and gives Kevin Owens something substantial to do. That could be something for AJ and for the Mania season is a Kevin Owens. Like that would be a fun
yeah.
that'd be a fun feud.
Well, my thing is, I kind of want to see Kevin Owens turn heel.
I
I'd
know
like
you
to see
do.
heel Kevin Owens.
Not
I
yet.
can't talk right now.
Kevin
Heel
Owens,
Kevin
huh?
Owens. God, now I'm starting to sound like Squirrely Dan if you ever watched Letterkenny. But
You know I haven't.
no, you don't. Like, you're just not
You
getting the
know all I
internet,
watch
or
is
okay,
wrestling. All I have time to.
that's fair. Okay, okay. Um,
Any
but
any final thoughts on this match? Because I don't want to spend super long on this match.
no, you're good. I don't have anything
Other
else.
than the
No,
finish, like the finish was fantastic.
yeah, no. That's really it. No notes for me.
I know you still
That
hate
was
the
a
U.S. title, but
not really.
is he bringing a little bit of prestige back? Just a little bit.
No,
What if he
no.
goes full time, like he said he is?
We'll talk. Okay, he retained his title on a DQ finish. Let's not get cheeky here. All right.
Okay, all right.
That's I like really I can't even believe you would try. You know, no, not up in here. To
All
quote
right,
Rob Riggle, not up in here. All right,
all right.
main event, men's Royal Rumble. Cody Rhodes, back
Yeah.
to back, first time in 26 years. We were kind of
Really?
surprised at that. Yeah,
Wow, I didn't know that.
yeah. He's one of four men to do it. Like that is a and I
Who?
did go back and watch it today.
Hollywood.
Sean,
Oh,
Mr.
Sean.
WrestleMania, Stone
Yeah.
Cold Steve Austin, and now the American
22 years.
Nightmare.
Wow. Okay.
26.
Stop talking. I feel old. Stop talking.
I am older than you. Shut up.
I know. I feel old, so I can't imagine how you feel old, man. Yeah, I
Yeah,
watched it
but I
back
look
too.
great.
What do you think? Because I have my thoughts.
Yeah, so I will start with the winner because we both picked CM Punk to win the Rumble here. Um, when this happened live, like I just kind of had like a really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that coming, but I did rewatch it again today, and yeah, he's absolutely right, and we'll definitely get into why here for sure. But yeah, you know, in hindsight, yes, this does make sense. It absolutely does. Um, I don't know. I think because it had been so long since we saw a back-to-back winner, I didn't think that was in the realm of possibility. CM Punk coming back because he wants Seth Rollins, and then Cody having to, you know, kind of gut it out one more time to get to WrestleMania as far as an Elimination Chamber win. But again, to Kyle's point, you know, how do we get him over to SmackDown, especially since there was the trade already for Kevin Owens and bringing Jey Uso over there. So I guess that loose end was kind of tied up, and I'm really starting to get into logic here on this show. But
Yeah, we don't do that here.
in hindsight, I'm not mad at this. I mean, I am a huge Cody Rhodes fan. You know, anybody that knows me knows that I am. That's why I'm wearing the shirt today. It was a surprise, but you know, upon further review, you know, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, I'm. Yeah. So a couple of things wrong that I had with this.
There's a few things in this match.
I love that Jimmy and Jay started it.
Yes,
I'm upset that neither had anything to do with their eliminations. Like that didn't
correct.
really make a ton of sense. Um, what else? The Lashley Karrion Cross thing was kind of nah. Didn't really feel like anything crazy. Omos was
I do
back.
like that new finisher though. It's kind
Yeah,
of like a pump handle into yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's nice, but it's still gonna take a minute to have me take Cross a little bit more seriously, right? Because of the way he's been
Yeah.
booked, so it's gonna take some time, and I think they'll get there. I like this new group, but
Yeah.
that's another podcast. Like Omos was back. I don't care.
Didn't care.
Like I feel like Priest didn't have a ton of highlights. I mean, he got rid of R-Truth,
Yeah.
and that was about it. Like the Pat McAfee spot it wasn't great.
That was a waste.
Um,
that's just no.
Braun looked very good. I will say that, and
That
I'm
was great.
hoping.
That was
Yeah, he did. He
yeah,
did miss all of his spears, except for Dominic. He hit Dominic with one, um, and then you know just a weird finish for me, man. It was like Sami Zayn was in there, and I was okay with that.
yeah,
Drew got eliminated. I think that goes into it. Like I wanted to see Gunther win. I think that would have been big. Like Cody
yeah,
winning back to back, and that's now that you kind of put that fact in there that it's been 26 years does make it a bigger deal. But it's almost like then why did he win it last year?
yeah,
Like just to overcome
yeah.
and do it again. Like it almost telegraphs like, all right, he's probably gonna win at WrestleMania, right?
This year.
Right? Yeah. Right?
I mean, I think you have to now.
They can't do it
I
twice.
no, I mean, we have talked about this so many times over the last year and what realistically would be the crowd reaction to this. I just don't see it work. I
They
mean,
can't
because
do it twice.
the first time it was kind of that defeat, devastation, just oh, it actually happened. But
Hmm.
this will piss people off this time if they
Oh
do it
yeah,
again. And I know that record is appealing to them,
it's
but
attractive.
it is. But I don't know. I think this has been a great 3.5 year run. I think that in the modern era of pro wrestling, given the fact that there are certainly more events being run than there certainly were back in the
Hmm.
days of Bruno and Hollywood Terry. I almost messed that up. I didn't though. I didn't.
You didn't.
Yeah,
You didn't. Good job.
yeah. 5 days and
It's been
counting.
a week.
So,
It's been a week. Give it time.
yeah, I know. Um, I just think three and a
So
half years is enough.
I immediately asked you a question. Sorry, I
No,
immediately
it's
asked you
fun.
a question right after the Rumble. Did we overhype this a little bit? Having watched it and rewatched it,
Yes.
I'm gonna say yes.
Oh, hands down,
Okay.
hands down. There were moments that I liked. Um, Shout out to R-Truth for what he did in both the
Hmm.
men's and the women's rumbles. Those are
Yeah,
goat
it's funny.
moments. That's just more additions to the Hall of Fame resume. The hot tag was brilliant. Um, here are the things that I've got here. Wasted the spot
Yep.
with Pat McAfee. You could have used
Yep.
Tyler Bate. You could have reintroduced the world to Pete Dunne.
Trick.
Trick, yes, which would have furthered that story. Mello actually got the very first elimination of the entire night, so great on him for that. Yeah, Kyle, yeah, we agree. I mean, I think we definitely did that. I
We
think
did.
we thought it was such a wide open field that it was possible. There was no Kofi Kingston Rumble moment. Now, here's my thought on this. Here's
I
my
think
thought
it's
on this.
done.
I also wanted to look at it from this standpoint of the planning as far as who's going to eliminate him. That was Gunther. Do we think that is an intentional? I mean, this is Gunther. Like anything he does is going to mess you up. And, we get a lot of people that
Hmm.
criticize, oh, what's Gunther's finisher? Or does he have one? It's like, no, he's a guy that can beat you with whatever's in his arsenal. And maybe that would, because it was Gunther that eliminated him, maybe not doing the Rumble spot with him in that particular context is the only thought I have in mind. But it definitely did hurt not to see a Kofi Rumble moment.
So my opinion on it is that he has failed to do it the last 2 years, and I don't think, from his perspective, we want that to be the lasting memory of Kofi in the Rumble is him continuously messing up those spots.
True.
Let's remember the good times of him having the Kofi
Yeah.
spot, and let's kind of just okay,
Yeah.
like it was fun while it lasted. I don't want to kind of ruin what I did in those previous Rumbles, so let me just ease off of it. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Okay. Okay. Um, let's see. So
Andrade was back, by the way.
yes, Andrade
That was a
returned,
big one.
looked great. Braun Breaker
Mm-hmm.
replaced Brock Lesnar is the rumor and innuendo,
Allegedly.
given everything that's going on. Basically was given all of Brock's choreography, eliminations, all of that, eliminated by Dominic Mysterio. Braun looked amazing here. I
Looked great.
mean, that we've known he's fast, we've known he's crazy athletic, but I don't know, there was something about him running those ropes during this match that it's just like, yo,
He did great.
you are hyped today. Yeah. I mean, it is time that he makes the move, and I hope that this is the beginning of that main roster transition now that everybody has seen what he can do.
I would hope so. I mean, he's got a built-in feud now with Dominic. He eliminated him from the
Yeah.
Rumble. I don't see why you don't just, kind of slide him over on Raw like they've done with Mello and SmackDown. So
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
yeah, hands down. Um,
Do you feel like Punk should have been out a little bit earlier? Was it too late for Punk when he came out? Because he was what, 26, 25, 26?
yeah, he was. Yeah, I would have thought that it would, be a late teens, early 20s, not too long after Cody. I think he was 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked to see that. It just, I can't even believe that we're even going to talk about this, but it seems like CM Punk might have injured himself during the Royal Rumble, might have retorn that tricep. There's no confirmation on that, but this is just kind of what we're hearing.
Mm.
The Fates don't want us to have CM Punk versus Seth Rollins right now, do they?
They might want it at SummerSlam.
Which would be nice. That
would be nice.
That
yeah,
would be
nice. That sucks. It does.
It does.
And it seems like, I mean, now what? He's been hurt 3 times in the last 3 years. Like,
Yes.
it seems like his body's starting to give out a little bit. So
Yeah.
WWE may want to, when he comes back, get these matches in as soon as possible, and get. But even this, I mean, he hasn't wrestled. I mean, he wrestled a couple house shows, but it wasn't like he was doing anything crazy.
Yeah, because I mean, even prior to this, I mean, his last match was in Wembley.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a long layoff.
It was August.
Yeah.
It was August to December was his layoff.
And that, I mean, he looked a little gassed in some of the spots where they really got close-ups on him. Obviously, the injury doesn't help.
We don't know when he got hurt.
So I was hearing that it was during the Future Shock DDT spot, and I did go back and watch it. Once he hits, immediately powders out, starts to favor that arm a little bit. So I don't know.
Sucks,
again, we don't know. We'll, Raw is about 50 minutes away here, so hopefully we'll find out something sooner than later. But if
they have to pivot, where are they going? If they have to pivot, just do the IC versus the world title.
Yeah. And I put this in our main event group chat. I would really like to see Jey Uso dethrone Gunther, but if they do have to, don't you do that. Don't do that. That really hurts my feelings when you do that.
The IC title is no longer a mid-card title, so I don't think mid-card Jey would be able to get there.
But his shirt says main event. Yeet.
Yeah, but when was the last time he was in the main event of anything?
Last night. Or Saturday night?
That was Saturday.
Yeah, I caught my...
I don't know. They've dropped the ball with Jey. So again, another show and a topic for another time. Yeah. But I don't. The bloom is off the rose.
Yeah. Before I get to our final question, and this is in the chat before I bring this up, I think you can still get to Jimmy versus Jey. You don't, even if they don't do it at WrestleMania, do it at SummerSlam, because you can put them in Money in the Bank, have them both qualify. And that's just an easy way to restart that feud because it's already interpromotional, so you don't have to worry about them going back and forth just yet. Let that be that. If you have to pivot, there's still a lot of moving parts here.
I could see Jimmy costing Jey like the Chamber or something.
That would also be cool.
If they can travel.
At that either. Yeah, I think they can. I think they can.
Okay.
I think they can. So this is in the chats here. We didn't see a whole lot of returns or surprises. We did see Andrade and a couple of of NXT guys. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not in the men's, but here we are. Okada, do you think he's AEW bound? What do you think?
I don't know if he's AEW bound. I'm not gonna say he is or he isn't. I know he's got 2 more dates in Japan in February, so maybe he's waiting to come over. If I'm Okada, and that would be awesome, but if I'm Okada, man, I'd take a swing at the WWE.
Yeah.
Like, you've been to AEW, you know what AEW is. The door's always open at AEW, but if your dream is to go work at WrestleMania,
there's only one place to do that.
There's only one place, and I feel like Triple H would treat you very, very well, knowing you're coming in as a big star. And if this is kind of that last run, that last great Okada run, if I'm doing it, I'd go to the WWE.
Yeah.
Him not being in the Rumble does not make me think either or. I think he's still making that decision. I think
Yeah.
he's focusing on finishing his dates in Japan, and then we will see, because I think he's got 2 more shows in February.
I think so.
And we'll see. We'll see after that. But
yeah, I mean it's the Will Ospreay thing too. I mean when he came out and signed that contract to Full Gear, he was like, yeah, I'm here. Let me finish up. And especially given what New Japan has meant to Okada for the entirety of that run. He's certainly going to give them every honor and courtesy and respect that they deserve on the way out, especially, given, I know that there have been some, kind of butting of heads with the front office and things like that, but now that Tanahashi is firmly at the helm, I could see him wanting to honor that and do business on the way out. So
Tanahashi not doing a great job losing the 2 biggest stars in New Japan when he takes over, and Will Ospreay and Okada. I will say, if I had to bet, I think Okada to WWE right now is more likely than Mercedes to WWE.
Yeah, and it's sounding more and more likely that that's a move to AEW. I personally would prefer WWE, but like we said, we're just going to enjoy great wrestling wherever it is that she shows up. Our interest in her or her match is what?
If or when she shows up.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's again, we'll wait and see until somebody actually graces our television screen, and we kind of leave it at that. Dude.
That was great.
Absolutely blown away. I mean,
shout out to Chelsea Green too. Good job in the Rumble.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, she played her part to perfection. Absorbed a lot of those blows. Just she's won me over.
She's won me over.
Yes, she has. I popped last year when she showed up. You did not. Yeah, no. So
shout out to Chelsea Green.
Yeah, she absolutely killed it. I would like to see her qualify for Money in the Bank and/or win Money in the Bank this year.
Yeah, a little bit more of a serious tone with the character, but I think we can get there.
Yeah, give it time.
Yep.
We're told that Becky just tweeted out a hilarious video with Kevin Owens. We'll check it out after this. So, yeah, Kyle, send us a link. Hit us up in that group chat. Any final thoughts on the Royal Rumble podcast, Dad?
Rumble is my favorite, PLE of the year. I thought the Women's Rumble outdid the Men's Rumble. There was a little bit less of, there weren't as many surprises in the men's, which I didn't love. And then the music, we got to fix the music.
Yeah.
That's my final thoughts on that. I need more, because you got to think of what the best songs are right now. And Cody Rhodes, somebody else did that. And I think Roman is great. And hey, shout out Def Rebel, you did that. But the theme songs suck. And that for me,
there are a lot of generic ones.
It takes away from the Rumble. So that's my final thought on the Rumble. Fix your music.
Fair enough. Overall, very, very solid card. Hats off to the women. I mean, that truly showed us how just loaded that roster is. And there are names that weren't in that match. I mean, we still didn't get Dakota Kai. I think she's going to be back sooner than later for sure, especially given this story that they're running. Lash Legend has improved as far as NXT goes.
Blair
Davenport, absolutely.
Lyra.
Thea Hale even could have been fun. Lyra, yeah. So they have a lot to work with this roster, one of the best in the world. And we'll see how it goes. But I mean, they are continuing the trend, of very strong PLEs.
Yeah, 55 minutes in, man. That was a long one. I don't know if I wanted to see this much on a Monday, but here we are.
That just plain hurts my feelings. But anyway, for those that did want to see us, thank you so much for joining this episode of the Wrestling Junkies podcast. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Again, for the 9 people that are out there watching right now,
thank you.
One person that would enjoy this,
thank you for watching,
for spending your evening with us. Jackass. All right.
One person.
Actually,
those 9 people.
You want to grab that?
9 people. Text one person right now and tell them to check us out. That is.
Yeah.
my mission to everyone that is watching right now.
Before we go, real quick, do you have the wheel?
I already spun the wheel.
Should probably spin it.
You not remember us spinning the wheel?
Whatever. No, I don't actually. I'll take your word for it.
It's ruthless aggression. Study up.
Okay.
Johnny will be back soon.
I'll be ready. Love it. Brand new Something Smarks coming. Thank you guys so much for enjoying this Wrestling Junkies podcast. I think that's it. We'll talk to you guys soon.